G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 39 of our Cold Trozan Skyshard Spellbreaker, where, as you can see, I've made it to level 97 and a bit, and there's some new toys to play with that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But first, I have a little montage for you of the recent Steps of Torment run that I did, and a little bit of shopping. So, cue the montage. I'm doing something incredibly silly. So we've got to level 97 walking down here. I have not spent that point, and we're heading into the Steps of Torment, the Skeleton Key dungeon, and we're gonna go kill Alchemos. Why? Actually, I'm not sure. I just kind of want to. And the first stop is the Chamber of Souls. So this is basically a ring event. You click on this and it will spawn waves and throw them at you, and you kill them and you get a bunch of loot at the end. Okay, when you do this event, do make sure to click on the reliquary after you're done, and let's have a look at the loot. We have the Fate Weaver's Raiment, which looks pretty good to me. And as long as we're in the area, and since we're using Igor's Eternal Vigil, we may as well go and kill Igor and hope for, well, I mean, literally any other affixes would probably be better. Let's see what we get. So it does look like I will have to curb my enthusiasm from a minute or so ago. I've just worked out that this is Igor's Eternal Curse and not his Eternal Vigil, which means this particular medal is not very good. Okay, and this is the second sort of event chest in here. This is the Bone Coffer. It could have been in one other location on this floor. It spawned on this side this time, so we'll have a couple of waves to fight here as well. Correction, we'll have one wave of 3 individual monsters plus the trash that I cleared out before I came in here. So, easy win. And what do we get? We got a cold weapon. It's a gun. It's rubbish. Okay, and we come to the boss man himself. We are fighting Alchemos. Now, Alchemos does mostly cold damage. I'm here on an elemental build, and I have casual 172% overcapped on my lightning, 73 on the one that matters cold, and everything else is pretty good as well. He may do some vitality, I can't remember, but if he does, I'm going to be running away a lot, so I will hopefully dodge that. So, let's go kill him. Looking at his weapon, it does kind of look like he has the two-handed scythe, which, you know, is better than the sword. Not really. I'd rather he didn't have either. But we shall see. Alright, and mirror is down, so we go back to running around in circles. And we will slowly do damage to him, avoiding his little blue puddle as much as possible. You can see there that he does hit pretty hard, but we also are fairly tanky. So when he did this big hit over here, we immediately healed up to full. I'm actually not even sure if that was the Wayward Soul proc or if it was the heal on Behemoth. I'm not sure what it was, but he's going down pretty easily. So it's probably just about time for him to say pretty easily what, and one-shot me from full health. Not today. And he did drop one of his rings. That is the level 94 blue ring. Cold damage, vitality damage, and the set has a proc, cold damage proc on a critical attack. No good on its own, and he did, of course, drop his scythe as well. So what other loot did we get in the treasure room? Let's pop it all so we can see it all in one go. Now there's obviously going to be a bunch of iron bits and potions and whatnot. You can see that all being automatically picked up. And we also got the Luminary Hat, which is rubbish. The Wild Blood Mantle, which I am going to hold on to because I can transmute that into another random set. The Vilescorn leg plates, which I'm not going to use but are worth keeping for selling, and a bunch of greens. Okay, welcome back to the current time. Now, in the little montage there, you would have seen we picked up the Fate Wearer's Raiment, which I'm going to hang on to for the moment. Also, Alchemos's Torment here. We don't currently have Alchemos's Agony, which means we're basically going to hang on to this ring but not use it, because on its own it's not good enough to replace the Ruby and Sapphire of Elemental Balance. The other thing is I went shopping, and in the second shopping screen that popped up, I found this, and this is not a double rare, or I guess a triple rare since it's an MI. However, that is an MI with a rare prefix with a damage proc, and a magical suffix with the cold damage that I want. So this is an upgrade, and I'm going to just swap it. So we swap that in. I also have this shield from some Radlith runs I was doing, I believe, in between the previous episode and this one. It's been a few days, so I'm not 100% sure on that. However, this is also an upgrade, though not a massive one, and we're going to chuck that on as well. We've got the Stardust here. This is going to go on our main hand and our shield. So we'll put those on. I believe previously we had something similar. Nope, we had the exact same thing. Okay, so that's no change. I'm going to go and eat the old one for my cold stones back. Yes, yes, I'm sure. Put that on there. Put that on there. Now, can we do anything with that chest? That's the question. So, if we did, we would be losing the Ice Spike proc. However, the shield we just put on has +5 to Night's Chill. So, if we swap this in, we now have... Well, we should still have the same in terms of skill points in Night's Chill. It should still be maxed. Now, it is capped. I'm just going to make sure we don't have any extra points in there. I don't think so. No. Alright. So it is still capped. However, we are a little short on Aether Resist because we took off the Mankind's Vigil. So, I think I have Mankind's Vigil here. If I don't, I'll just head back to Elite and buy one. Yep. So I have this. This will get me 18% if I put it on 2 items. I think I probably have... Yeah, I can put it on the boots there as well. So that'll be... My resistances will be fine. But I'm losing the Ice Spike proc itself, which is a decent amount. And what I'll be gaining is the Prismatic Aura, which is actually really good. We'll also be getting +4 to Elemental Balance, some physical resistance, and +2 to Blade Spirit. So I think this is a good swap. We're also getting the Frostburn damage there, a bunch of health, etc. This is a really good swap in my not-so-humble opinion. It does, however, mean that we now have an extra aura to play with, which needs to go here. So let's chuck that on. We should see, yep, all of our resistances come up. But I don't want to rely on a proc for my resistances to be capped. So I am going to put the boots one on as well. And I'm going to go get my Sanctified Bone back. So we're going to track across town and put that on. Then I'm going to flash all of my buffs back on and see how we look then. So there's my Sanctified Bone. Done, done, done. Right, buffs. Let's go. Patch 1.2 coming up. There will be a grand total of 2 buttons left on this hotbar, and it will be the 2 Blade Spirit buttons, because all of the rest will just be permanent effects that are applied whenever you have the skill for them. But for now we have to apply them all manually. Resistances are all massive, basically. This aura, the Prismatic Aura, gives 15% to everything and also 5% physical resistance. This is a really, really good chest. Very lucky drop to get this out of, I think, out of the Reliquary in that run. But wherever it actually came from, this is a very, very lucky drop. Right, so I'm going to sell all the rest of this, and then we are going to head back out to the Blood Grove. I don't think I'm going to use any of this stuff. Oh, in that little montage as well, you would have seen this drop, and I was considering using it. I'm not going to use it. I like the quality of life of having an extra 2 minutes on Pneumatic Burst. The extra heal is also nice, and it would be 100% cold damage versus 145% cold damage. I don't think it's a big enough deal to change this over. So I'm not going to. I'm in fact going to sell that. Same with this amulet that I farmed up in a previous in-between episode. Really, really nice resistances on this. 60% PS and 79% poison. However, we do want to do Devastation in the near future, so that one can go as well. I have an amulet, or sorry, a belt with +1 to Arcanist. It's got okay resistances on it. This belt is never going to be used, so we'll sell that. And this medal is actually okay, but I just had a better one that I sold, so that can go as well. That leaves me with these boots. Yeah, so these are level 92, same as the other ones. These have more armor, similar amounts of damage, similar amounts of spirit, similar offensive ability. These ones have more life. The old ones have 52% poison and acid that I can't replace. So unfortunately these aren't staying either. And this helmet, yeah, that can go too. I'm going to hang on to the rings for now, just in case, but I think, actually, you know what? They can go as well. Because the reason we're heading to the Blood Grove is, surprise, surprise, seems to be the theme of this particular character. We're going shopping. Because my man over here, good old Benevold, with his secret shop, he has the blueprint for the mythical rings that I'm wearing, and I want them. So this episode is going to be a lot more highly edited than most of them have been. And now that we're here, I'm going to cut this out, and I'll see you when I eventually find the blueprint, assuming it's not here already. It's not. Okay, I'll see you when I've got it. And there it is, and it only took me a little bit over an hour. Definitely don't recommend getting the blueprint this way. I would say if you desperately need the blueprint, go and farm treasure troves and totems. You'll get a bunch of other stuff in that hour, and you'll probably still get it as well. Okay, and one quick trip back to normal to actually craft the mythical ruby and sapphire and transmute. I actually made 2 of the ruby and transmuted one of them, the worst one, into the sapphire. I also needed to go back to normal to exchange tainted brain matter into the hearts, ancient hearts, because I didn't have enough hearts. You will need 12 to make 2 of this ring. So yeah, we're good to go. Alright, let's chuck these on. Did we get an upgrade in damage? Actually, let's go back to the old ones. Trozan's is... Excuse me one moment while I actually turn my buffs on. Okay, Trozan Sky Shard up to 42, let's say 38 to 42.5. It's now 40 to 44 and a bit. So it's a small upgrade. But the bigger upgrade, I guess, is going to be the proc. Yeah, the proc's gained another 2,000 or 3,000 damage on it. So overall, do not recommend. I would skip this step. It took probably about an hour and 10 minutes or so to get these rings and to actually equip them. But, you know, them's the breaks. Alright, let's get some actual content in this episode, shall we? So where were we up to? And why can't I click on this rift? Alright, we'll do it the other way. Right, Astrakhan Valley. Okay. I've done a lot of cutting of this particular episode, so I'm just going to show this time. Normally I would cut this little section out because, well, nothing really happens, but we'll leave it in. And this episode will probably run a little bit long. Oh, that reminds me, I need to change that back down. Alright, let's get a move on. It's time to get down the road, as it were. Now there's one little section here that I always do, in addition to this guy who needs to die because he has a star above his head. I do also like to head to this little area on the left here with these Aether Crystals and Childred, who is always here. He will be here every time you come through, so if you need to kill Ethereals for some reason, he's always here, so you can definitely do that. I will be honest, I don't know why I'm trying to kill this guy. He is highly cold resistant. I mean, he is dying, but yeah, not worth. That's fine. Like I said, I usually come here just for the Aether Crystals on the way through. So getting the kill on him is also good. Let's have a look, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's try and keep moving. We are nemesis with the beasts, which means when we do get to the Ugdenbog area, we are going to have to worry about Kubakabra. I don't think we are nemesis with any other faction, though. No, just despised or hated. Chthonians, we may get coming out of Barrowhome. We may get nemesis with them. I don't expect to get it heading through the Necropolis. Okay, so we made it to the Astrakhan Road. If you ever need Chthonian Seals of Binding, I do highly recommend coming down this road here. Nope, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're not at that road yet. That's at the next Rift Gate. See, this is the problem I have. I run through this area so fast, I try to get through it as quick as I can because there's literally nothing here except whatever XP you can get from killing things. That, it's pretty easy for me to get lost. We're also now at the point where doing the hidden path becomes, well, not just viable, but something we need to consider doing. An extra skill point at this point in the game is something you want. Be interesting to see where we're up to when we do actually hit level 100. Usually happens for me around about Logorian, and we do seem to be on track to hitting 100 before we get there this time. What I might actually do is skip a few quests on the way through. Because my preferred farming ground is in, let's see if we can dash to one of these. Yes. My preferred farming area for any character is the Gloomwald. Either there or the Bloodgrove through to Darkvale Gate is my preferred area. So if I can get there before I hit level 100, that'd be ideal. Okay, and then everybody died. Oh, crafting these rings also, pretty expensive. I was just looking at that. So I dropped about, I think maybe 200,000 or so. That ring looks interesting. 200,000 or so iron bits on the weapon that I'm using. So this one here. But these rings between the two of them probably cost about $1 million, I'd say. So just be aware they are actually pretty expensive. Let me see. Amulet. +1 to Arcanist. I would say that's an upgrade. The lightning resist we don't care about. The piercing we can live without. Yep, you know what? Boom. That goes straight on. And I will... Hang on a second. Why did my Aether resist tank? Huh? Who cares? Alright, I'm going to swap that immediately, and we will go and get my 8th soul back. And try to remember that we don't have an augment on it. I didn't get an extra augment for my amulet. I did pick up 2 Wraith Screams, which is from the Coven. But I didn't get a 3rd one, unfortunately, so we'll have to go without for now. So level 94 to level 100 is kind of like the fun part of gearing for me, because you go from, you know, whatever leveling setup you have to starting to find some really nice purples. Okay. So this is the area I was talking about. If you ever need Chthonian Seals of Binding, go in there. The Rift Gate is going to be just over here. Go in there and you'll come out with 10-ish, maybe a few more, maybe a few less, but it's the best place I've found for farming seals. The other good place, if you are also farming totems, is Darkvale Village. The run-up from the Blood Grove has some totems. I think it's between 2 and 3 or 4. Either way, there's a lot of totems in that area. So you can find a good bit of gear. It's starting to tickle, whatever that is. It's probably this guy, Regenerator. And let's go ahead and do this totem. This is another one of the totems that I like to hit. There's 3 possible spawn points for it, and you can see all of them from this Rift Gate. So if I was standing on this Rift Gate, and I just take a step, this will flash up if it's here. There's another one just kind of here, and then the 3rd one, you do have to run like over to about here-ish to see the 3rd one. But if the first 2 are not there, you know that the 3rd one is, because there's no other place that it can spawn. Alright, what did we get? Ton of blueprints. And a single blue item. Winter Storm helmet, no. That reminds me, I should go and pick up the ultimate Fedon mask as well. It's so far out of the way. Okay, so nothing too amazing from that. Actually, as long as we're in the area, let's go say hi to... no, we won't bother. So I was going to run back down here and uncover the area where the other 2 potential totems are, but I don't think it's worth the trip. Like I said, I'm going to skip this section for now. I'm getting up there in levels. I'm probably going to hit 98 just before I get to Fort Ikon. Certainly when I get to Fort Ikon, I have a quest to turn in to speak to Inquisitor Creed, so that will get us to 98 if nothing else does. You'll also notice that I haven't been using the XP potions for a little bit. I don't think I need them at the moment. I do have 6 of them just kind of hanging out though. So that's what, 250,000 bits that I didn't need to spend, which is a little bit frustrating because I spent so many bits on these rings, which, had I known that they were going to cost that much, I actually would not have spent those bits. Well, you live and you learn. 12 ancient hearts is also nothing to scoff at. Those are going to take quite a while to replace as well. Band of Wandering Souls, cold damage. That's actually a pretty good ring for this build. It's not amazing, like it doesn't fit perfectly, but it's pretty good. Where'd it go? So we've got flat cold and vitality damage, a higher percent cold damage than the elemental balance rings. Pretty good resist. No offensive ability, which kind of sucks. Like, our crit rate is actually pretty good. So I probably wouldn't put 2 of those on instead, but that Soulwell proc is pretty good. Alright. Where are we? I think I was talking to the wrong guy. Okay, so we actually didn't hit 100 there. We do have to go and do the Fort Ikon Armory. I'm gonna just neck a potion, because why not? We definitely don't need them, but I have 6 of them just kind of sitting there doing nothing, so let's just use one and see how we go. Oops, fat-fingered a crystal there. Okay, it seems like the those rings are proccing more often. Seems like. I don't know if that's actually true, but it does seem that way. Which is interesting. We do also have Locksmere coming up. Locksmere is always fun. So, kind of not sure if I want to fight Locksmere on this character, because all of our defenses are provided by buffs. If we have Pneumatic Burst removed, and it will be removed, then we lose our dodge. If we have Maven Sphere removed, and it will be removed, because Locksmere's whole thing is she rips your buffs off you, then we lose, what is it, 22% damage absorb or something like that? 26? So Locksmere will be quite dangerous for this build. That is 98. Sitting on the points for now. Having said that though, we are no longer converting Devastation to Vitality damage because of that amulet swap. So we could start putting a couple of points into it. We could also, we will convert a lot of the Aether damage to cold because of the skill points in Arcanist. Where is it? This one? Nope. This one. Nope. Might have actually been the Star Pact. Yeah. So half the Aether damage will be converted to cold. What's the other conversion on that? Physical to cold. Okay, so we don't care about that one. But having half of the Aether damage converted to cold means we would be doing a decent chunk of cold damage with our Devastation as well. The other thing Devastation would be good for is just a Devotion procker. I've been looking at the Devotions and considering swapping out the Phoenix for Amatok to get the Blizzard proc. It procs on a crit, which ordinarily is not really amazing while you're leveling, but because we have such high crit chance, it would probably proc fairly often. Okay, coming up on Lucius here. Lucius is somewhat dangerous. Usually he'll die before he gets off a second meteor, but if you are unlucky, the first one could just kill you. So make sure that you don't get hit by the meteor. So you see there, 22% total resist reduction on his flamethrower. I think it's next is the meteors. Yep, there they go. And you just want to make sure you don't get hit by that. You can use the mirror to completely block the first one if you want. Alright, Codex of Maligosia, whoever that is. I was going to say it looks like a cold item, but no, it's Aether and Fire. With a Vitality and Aether damage proc on it. Interesting. Okay. So the quest for the supplies, you can give them to Black Legion, in which case you will lose Homestead reputation. Or you can give them to Homestead, in which case you will lose Black Legion reputation. At this point, since we are revered with both of them, losing reputation would actually lose us our revered status, which I would rather lose revered with neither, but if I had to pick one, I would rather lose revered with Homestead, because you can just go kill some bears or whatever. Kill some beast monsters. I am going to dodge Locksmere this time. So Locksmere is always on the right hand side, only spawns in ultimate, and is more than a little bit terrifying actually for this build. Just because of how our defenses work, having Pneumatic Burst and Maven Sphere stripped would basically mean we're taking like way more than double damage. So I'm just going to hug the left side and pretend that Locksmere doesn't exist. The other bad thing, of course, about Locksmere is that she'll just rush you down. Like, that dashes over, does a huge hit, strips all your buffs off. I believe she also has resist reduction. And in patch 1.2 we'll probably have Sunder, just because, you know, screw you and your favorite character. I don't know that for sure, though. I haven't tested the updated 1.2. Okay, so in the Gates of Necropolis, I'm going to go around and just unveil or explore the areas where the totem can spawn. One of them can be here. The other one is going to be over to the right. I'm also clearing the areas on the map where the Nemesis can spawn, although we definitely do not have Nemesis status with the Ethereals yet, so that's not an issue. Are we close though? Yeah, kind of. On the right here, this is actually a really good place to farm Aether Crystals as well. The issue with it, once you are level 100 though, is that the Warden Krieg's laboratory will scale forever. You never have to go anywhere that isn't Krieg's laboratory ever again. And Krieg's laboratory is the better place to farm for Aether Crystals, Aether Clusters. This is just a good place to farm when you haven't done, you know, Ultimate. Haven't unlocked the laboratory on Ultimate yet, or Elite if you're still halfway through normal. Okay, so since we're here in the Gates of Necropolis, there is a few things that we're going to skip because we don't need any of them. There's a devotion shrine that we could fight. I might fight it. Yeah, checked there for the totem. It's not there today. I am going to skip the crypt here because there's a devotion shrine at the end of it and also a boss that drops an MI, but they're not things that I'm interested in. I think I will do this Desecrated Shrine. Bit of XP, bit of free loot. Okay, a couple more should do the trick. Something was quite painful there. Alright, and everything is dead, lovely. Glyph of the Storm Witch. Nice ring, but not really for us. Mythical Dawn Guard, Hell Rune. Okay, none of this is any good. That Soul Weaver girdle, potentially. I'll have a look at it. Padala's Will, I think, is +1 Necro, but I might have Arcanist on it as well. Soulweave Girdle is actually pretty good. +2 to Maven Sphere. Not something you can complain about. Unfortunately, it's physical Aether and doesn't have +1 skills, so that's a no-go for me. Padala's Will is, yeah, just Necro. Oh, it's actually a Ritualist item. Okay. Alright. Okay, and we're coming up on the Rift Gate, which we will have to fight for. So, here we go. Nice to be able to just stand there and tank it with your face. Okay, what do we get for loot? We got a gun, we got a two-handed sword, an offhand we're not going to use, and gloves we're also not going to use. However, they aren't awful. That's a lot of casting speed. Not really much use for us because we need more cooldown speed than anything else. Okay, let's head back to Fort Ikon, do some turn-ins so we can talk to Creed here. And like I said, I am going to be giving the supplies to the Legion rather than to Homestead. We did just achieve Honored, which is a fancy way of saying they don't like you anymore. Okay. And we will head to the Necropolis at once, as soon as we sell all this rubbish. This was another thing I found while I was getting the blueprint for the rings. Let's hang on to that for the moment. I just wanted to show this. I don't know why. We're not playing a Force Wave Soldier yet. Yeah, it's just one of those items that you remember from when you played a different character. For example, these rings are not really remarkable, except now I remember the time when I played a Spellbinder and they were very useful. Maybe the next elemental type character I play, these will be good for. Don't know. What was that? Bonemongers. Okay, no. Alrighty. And on that note, I think we're going to end the episode here. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye for now.